Today on Forbes, why Caitlin Clark is one of the world's 100 most powerful women in 2024. Caitlin Clark was almost nonchalant about the shot that, in March, made her the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, male or female. She told Fox's courtside reporter Allison Williams, quote, "Pretty cool." In the same breath, she launched into an analysis of her team's performance in the game's first half. Quote, "Pretty cool" is one way to describe the year that Clark has had. Groundbreaking, galvanizing, and history-making are others. After leading Iowa to the NCAA Women's Finals, which was watched by a record 18.7 million viewers and 24 million at its peak, making it one of the most watched games in college basketball history and surpassed the men's final for the first time, Clark then went on to become the number one pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. In her inaugural WNBA season, she continued making history. She set rookie records for most points and assists, and was named the league's Rookie of the Year. Alongside draft class members Angel Reese, Cameron Blink, and Camila Cardozo, Clark is credited with driving a record 54 million viewers to ABC, NBC, ESPN, and their cable peers to watch the WNBA's regular season. All of that attention is also lucrative. Over the summer, the WNBA struck an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal with Disney, Amazon Prime, and NBC. A basketball player has never before made the ranks of the Forbes list of the world's 100 most powerful women. Serena Williams, the tennis ace, is one of the only other athletes to appear in the rankings in the last 20 years. But the 22-year-old Clark was a driving force in a game-changing year for women's sports. The year marked the first time there was gender parity in the number of Olympic athletes competing in the Games. U.S. women's soccer closed its 2024 season with the most watched championship game in NWSL history. And Angel City FC became the highest valued women's professional sports team, at $250 million when Willow Bay and Bob Iger acquired a controlling stake this summer. Thayer Lavielle, the executive director of Wasserman's sports division, The Collective, says, quote, "Caitlin Clark became the lightning rod of this moment in time." Lavielle estimates the value of professional women's basketball and soccer stands to increase by a combined $1.6 billion over the next 3 years, a figure that is based on attendance and viewership, on television and streaming equivalents, and doesn't include merchandise or media deals. It's a growth spurt that is long overdue. Dawn Staley, who as the head coach for the South Carolina Gamecocks now has 3 NCAA women's titles to her name, told Forbes in July that the momentum behind women's sports has been building for so long that it's finally, quote, "uncontrollable." But it also takes a singular figure to truly galvanize consumer interest. She said, quote, "I think sometimes you need a unifier. I think Caitlin Clark has done a tremendous job at being that person people want to see. She's brought a different set of eyeballs to our game." Of course, for all the attention that Clark and her cohorts have brought to women's sports in 2024, Lavielle says that it's, quote, "a long path to equity. The men's side of the ecosystem is $54 billion. And research from The Collective shows that in the years leading up to 2024, women's sports received, on average, 15% of total sports media coverage and 10% of sponsorship dollars. Naturally, that discrepancy translates to significantly lower starting salaries for female players in the WNBA. Clark's $76,535 rookie salary made headlines earlier this year when it was compared to the salaries of her male counterparts in the NBA. Zachary Rissacher, 2024's overall number 1 pick, and Victor Wembanyama, 2023's first pick, both received a starting salary of $12 million. For full coverage and to see the whole 2024 World's 100 Most Powerful Women list, released earlier this week, check out Maggie McGrath's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.